Many fathers don't realize the small mistakes and impacts that they have on their kids. And I think sometimes they just get lost, and maybe as fathers, we don't have the proper guidance. And I think that's something that we really need to talk about and know. So let's talk about it. One of the things is being present is very, very important. You want to be present in your kid's life. And the reason I say that because it's an important thing to be present, because if you're not present in your child's life, then they don't know who you are. Yeah, when they're babies and stuff, it's still important, even as they're babies, to really be inside. You really want to be in their life because you might not think they know, but the fact of the matter is that even as babies, sometimes kids, they memorize these certain things. I remember a time when I was little, and I don't even know how old I was. I think I might have been like under 5 years old, maybe 2 or 3. And what happened was that I remember one time my dad, he like came home and then he was like throwing down some plates and stuff like that, and they was breaking. And I was like, that's kind of odd. I don't really know what the deal was or what happened. I just remember, like, as a kid, that my dad threw down some plates. He got mad at my mom or something like that. He never hit her or nothing like that. But I'm like, okay. So I guess that's how, maybe he takes out his anger. And that's what I say, like, not being present. So I remember that. I remember that he was there, he was present, but that's what he was doing. And I remember even too with my dad, there were times when he even told me growing up, since he was adopted, that his father was never there for him. Yeah, he was adopted back into his own family by like his uncle, which served as his father, which is good. You really should serve as, help out your family and stuff like that. But he never got a chance to really spend time with his real father, which I thought was kind of odd. But then I guess the older I got, I would say, I started to think maybe they don't know. Like, he doesn't know the impact that he really has and stuff like that. And maybe really don't know his story. And that's why I say the importance of being present. Even he wasn't even there, so his uncle raised him the whole entire way through. And for me, it's really important that I'm always trying to present with my kids, and I'm always trying to be there for them. And I think that's really one of the things is, like, I was talking to my younger son the other day, and I was asking him, I said, hey, Jace, I want to ask you, instead of me picking you up on Thursday all the way till Monday, do you want to do Thursday till Sunday or Friday till Monday? And then my oldest son's like, well, Dad, why are you asking? Because I always ask my oldest, I always ask you, Ethan. No, let's ask Jace. So then I asked him, and Jace is like, the younger one, okay, Dad, you can pick us up on Friday then, like you want to do all the way till Monday. And then I asked him too, I said, does it bother you sometimes that I spend more time with Ethan than I do spend time with you? He said, no. I said, I just want to make sure. I said, it's only because of soccer practice and different things like that. And my younger son was okay with that because I'm still a present father. I mean, they both had their own phones. Keep in mind, my younger son, yeah, he is younger. He's 6 years old, but he still had his own phone. His mom got him his own phone. Both of them had their own phones. So what they do is they call me on their phone, and my younger son was like, Dad, I couldn't call you. I was like, why you couldn't call me? My mom changed my settings on my phone. So now it's like, what I do is I got a call from a different line. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I had to fix his phone. He got to call me on the internet. And that's something I just want to talk about, just being present. And then another point I just want to hit on, lack of emotional support. And one of the things I see sometimes is having that ability to be there emotionally for each kid. Each kid has their own personality. They have their own definition. They define who they are independently. Everybody is different. Like, the way I talk to my older son is completely different from my younger son. I can direct my older son and like yell at him and say, hey, get that done right now. He's not going to get mad or nothing. He just, oh, that's just my dad. He going to get on me and stuff like that. But I'm also there for him. Like, if something happens, come give me a hug and stuff like that. I don't talk down on him or anything like that. I just try to be there for him. And my younger son, he really needs a little bit more emotional support. That's just how he is. He's a little bit more sensitive. So sometimes I have to give him hugs more, and I have to say I love him and stuff. And then my older son was like, why are you always doing that to him, but you're not doing it to me? I said, because y'all are different. And then he starts laughing. Just different personalities. And another point I want to hit on is just inconsistent discipline. As parents, we got to be consistent with our disciplines and how we talk to our kids. And the reason I say that is because if you don't discipline your kids right now, you know who's going to discipline them? The court system going to discipline them because they're not listening. And they will lock their behind up. And that's just how it is. So whenever your kids get in trouble or something like that, if it's like a probable cause, make sure that you're taking away their video games. I wouldn't say hit them with a belt. I'm not going to push that. I'm kind of old school. But I don't even do that with my kids now. Don't get me wrong. I did that when they were early on. But I don't do that now. I just talk to them. So sometimes you need to take away the games. Sometimes you might need to take away their phone. It just kind of depends on what you think you need to take away from it. Because everybody is just different. So your discipline needs to be consistent. If they get in trouble, make sure that you're reinforcing the things that you want them to do and telling them, little Johnny or Timmy, this is why. Or little Kayla, you did this wrong. I'm taking away your games because you had a bad attitude or you were cussing out mommy and daddy. And that's just an example. You just want to do that. Another thing I want to talk about too is just projecting your own struggles. Do not project your own struggles that you're having inside yourself on your kids. Just because you had a bad day at work doesn't mean that you need to yell at your kids and tell them, oh, I'm so pissed off, I'm mad, and start yelling and cussing. Your kids had nothing to do with it. That don't have anything to do with them. So you need to focus on different things that you need to take care of. Whether you as a parent or a father need to go to counseling or you need to talk to somebody, is have that, what I call the soft startup. Soft startup meaning like, hey, I'm having a rough day right now. You can tell your kids, you don't have to get into details and stuff like that, but just tell them I'm having a rough day today. Just give me a little bit of time, a little bit of space right now. And then later on, I'm okay. And the reason I say that, because if you don't, you're going to project some of your struggles and be yelling at them and cussing them out. I'm running low on the bills. I can't pay the bills. Don't do that. You can tell them I'm just having a couple things I'm struggling with right now and I'm trying to work through them. And that's important. You can do that. It's okay just to tell them like that. But that's what I call soft startup versus hard startup, where you start yelling and arguing and all that. You don't have to do that. I'm telling you. So try to be nice to them and just say, hey, there's different things that's going on right now. And I also just want to talk about neglecting to just lead as a father. As a father, you're supposed to be the head of the household. Now, this doesn't matter if you married or you're not married, you're single, whatever it is. If you have kids, you are the leader of the household. Because that's the way we're made. We're made as men. We're stronger. We're bigger. We're supposed to lead our family in the right direction. You should have a 10-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 30-year plan. I have all of them. And I look at my plans all the time. And I also ask my kids, what do they want to do? What do they want to do in life? I asked my oldest son what he wants to do. He wants to play soccer. I said, okay, what's the plan after soccer? Because you still got to live. You're still going to be on earth. You're going to be like 30-something years old. So what's the plan after that? And he says, Dad, I'm going to save up my money and then I'm going to start like my own business. I said, great. How can I help? That's what I look at. And that's why I say having some type of leading. You want to be the leader of the family and tell them this is where we're going. Like I tell my son, okay, this amount of years, X amount of years, we're going to buy a house. Okay, why are we buying a house there? Because this is closer to your grandmother. Even though me and your mom aren't together, this is closer to your grandma. So therefore, we can all still talk, spend time together and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Even their mom, I go to their mom's their mom's house. So that would be what? My ex-wife's mom's house. Every once in a while, if I'm dropping off my kids, they close by and that their grandma helps out sometimes. And then the aunt helps out. That's just what we do. And every family is different. And that's what I want to say. You want to have some type of leadership and direction and guidance so your kids know where they're going. You don't want to be going from apartment to apartment, house to house, renting this place, renting that place, but don't have no sense of direction. Have a sense of direction. Have a sense of direction to say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm looking at. This is how I'm feeling. And this is the direction that we're going to go in. Maybe you want to schedule cruises for your family every year, once a year as a father, and say, we're going to take a family cruise or we're going to take a family trip and we're just going to talk. We're going to spend time together. We're going to look at where our finances. And that might be something that you really want to do. And you really just want to look through all these different things and really just have a good, honest conversation with yourself and say, you know what, these are the 5 most common mistakes that fathers make, and how can I improve as a father? And that's what I always do. I really try to put content out for y'all as fathers, and I really just want y'all to be the best fathers. That's all I really want. It's not about me. It's not about anybody else. It's just about putting this content out to help fathers all around the world. And that's how I always look at it. I want to be there for y'all. I want to help y'all in any way that I can, whether it's courses, whether it's some type of counseling situations that you need help with, some type of coaching. And that's how I look at it. So remember to like, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're avoiding these mistakes that we also just talked about. Make sure that you're just telling people that you can do it as fathers and encouraging each other. So tell me what y'all think down in the comments below. Let me know, do some of these resonate with you? Do you think there's things that you need to change as a father? Do you think that there's things that you need to work on? So remember, like, share, subscribe. Peace. I'm out.